Sharper Point Commentary.
When I first started going to recovery meetings and got sober, I was told to buy a suit because I was going to be going to a lot of weddings and a lot of funerals. It was true. I've been to several weddings of my sober friends. I even got ordained a few years ago so I could perform some of those weddings for my fellow recovering alcoholics and addicts. But sadly, the other reason I was told to get a suit also turned out to be true because I've lost a lot of friends in the last few years, a lot of friends I just made in the last decade or so, and a lot of it was because I didn't get to see those friends where I met them, at meetings. The pandemic forced many people to stay home and even closed down many of the places where meetings were held, and the pandemic happened as the fentanyl epidemic was ramping up. So that's why it was so good to hear this news. According to a new CDC report, drug overdose deaths in the United States last year fell to their lowest level in 5 years. OD deaths fell from more than 110,000 back in 2023 to about 80,000 last year, falling by almost 30,000 and declining by about 27%. It was the second year in a row that drug overdose deaths have dropped. It's also the lowest figure of annual drug overdose deaths since 2019, which of course was the last complete year before the pandemic forced many addicts to stay home and away from treatment centers and recovery meetings. Public health experts have been watching these monthly updates with some skepticism at first and then actually gaining some hope. And yesterday's report was very encouraging. Deaths declined in all major categories of drug use, dropping in every state but two of them. And I think that may be a sign that not only are deaths from overdoses going down, but also overdoses in general. Because with the introduction of the life-saving Narcan nasal spray to the general public, it's easy to assume that we just saved more people who OD'd. But Narcan doesn't work on stimulants, only opioids. And we saw a decline in overdose deaths in all categories of drugs. Things improved in Arizona, too, but not as much as the country overall. The CDC report predicts that when the final numbers are in, Arizona will have seen 2,539 drug overdose deaths last year compared to the 2,780 we saw in 2023. That means about an 8.5% decline compared to the 27% national decline. Maybe we're past the worst of the fentanyl epidemic, but there's another substance that's lurking out there that takes more lives than what we traditionally think of as drugs. About 178,000 people die each year in this country from excessive drinking. These deaths occur from both drinking alcohol over several years or drinking too much on one occasion. About 2/3 of those alcohol-related deaths were from chronic conditions, but a third are from binge drinking or drinking too much on one occasion. About 61,000 deaths a year due to alcohol abuse. You know, there are people that abuse alcohol, they get DUIs, and they're not actually alcoholics. They just made a mistake, and they're able to quit or just walk away and only have a drink every now and again and don't drink and drive ever again because of the consequences that went along with that. If you, however, find that despite judges and family and everybody telling you need to quit, you can't, well, I got a place that can help you, and I'm happy to share about that. If you want to reach out to me, my email is jim@KTAR.com.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.